إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Amma ba'd. All praise is due to Allah, whom we turn to for help, forgiveness and guidance to the right path. And we seek refuge in Allah from the evils of our souls, and we seek refuge in Allah from the evils of our sins. For whomsoever Allah guides, no one can misguide. And whomsoever is misguided, then only Allah, the Almighty alone, can guide him. And I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah, the Almighty alone, without any associates. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his slave and messenger. May the peace and blessings and prayers be upon him until the day of judgment. O you who believe, fear Allah as he should be feared, and die only as Muslims, die only in a state of Islam. My dear brothers and sisters, know that this great Muslim Ummah, this great Muslim nation, had a glorious past. And it kept on rising above other nations until its light illuminated the four corners of the world. For over 1,000 years, it led in every field, whether it was science or politics or economics or social affairs. And unfortunately, at the turn of the 20th century, the situation of the Muslim Ummah changed. Took a turn for the worse. And it kept on getting worse and worse until we reached what we reached. A situation of humiliation and disgrace. And some have blamed and attributed this humiliation and disgrace, these woes and sufferings that the Muslim Ummah is going through, to materialistic needs or materialistic issues, saying that we are backwards in technology. Whilst others have said the blame is concerning our cultural ways and civilization, the way we live. Whilst others have blamed our ideological and intellectual thinking, saying that we are backwards in our thinking. And yet, and unfortunately, some others, like the hypocrites and enemies of Islam, have actually blamed Islam itself, some of its laws and legislations, and what have you. Yet, a true believer who deeply thinks and ponders over the situation of the Ummah, of this Ummah, and looks into its constitution and laws and legislations, into this beautiful religion and its laws and legislations, will know truly where the blame is. Where the blame is concerning our woes and sufferings. And we don't have to go far. You don't have to go far. If you look into the Quran and Sunnah, you will find that Allah, the Almighty, and His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam have pinpointed the problem and given the solution. Allah the Almighty, my dear brothers and sisters, says in His holy book, وَمَا أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُّصِيبَةٍ فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَيَعْفُ عَنْ كَثِيرٍ. And whatever of the hardships, of the sufferings that may befall you, it is through your own hands. It is through what your hands have earned. It is through your own doings. And that's clear in this verse. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the authentic hadith, إذا تبايعتم بالعينة وأخذتم أذناب البقر ورضيتم بالزرع وتركتم الجهاد سلط الله عليكم ذلا سلط الله عليكم ذلا. If you were to deal with عينة, riba-based transactions, and to follow the tails of cows and be pleased with agriculture, meaning being busied and occupied with this world and not doing your obligations and duties to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and leave fighting and struggling for the cause, in Allah's cause, Allah will prevail, will overtake you with humility, with humiliation and disgrace. So it's clear where the problem lies, my dear brothers. It's clear where the problem lies. The problem lies with us. The problem lies with us, the way we are conducting ourselves. And the solution, rectifying the solution, also goes back to us. It's in our hands. As Allah the Almighty says in His holy book, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Allah will not change the situation of a nation, of a people, until they first change themselves. Until they first change themselves. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the previous hadith that I mentioned, he gives the solution at the end of the hadith. He says, سَلَّطَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمْ ذُلًّا حَتَّى تَرْجِعُوا إِلَى دِينِكُمْ. Allah will overtake you with humiliation and disgrace until you go back to your original religion. Therefore, the solution, rectifying the situation, is in your hands, my dear brothers. Yes, in your hands. Until you go back to your original religion. Until you implement the true teachings of the Quran and Sunnah. And do that which is obligatory upon you, and keep away from that which is prohibited upon you. Until you do that which is pleasing to Allah, the Almighty. And in all fields and in all walks of life, in all fields and in all walks of life, individually, communally, politically, economically, socially, in all aspects of life. Because this religion, this beautiful religion, is a complete package. يا أيها الذين آمنوا ادخلوا في السلم كافة. O you who believe, enter into Islam completely in all aspects of life, in all fields of life. Therefore, it is in your hands, my dear brothers and sisters, to change your situation for the better. To change your situation and the situation of the Ummah for the better. The Prophet ﷺ says in the authentic hadith, تركت فيكم أمرين ما إن تمسكتم بهما لن تضلوا أبدا أو بعدي أبدا كتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I have left for you two things behind. If you hold on to them, you shall never go astray. You shall never be misguided. The book of Allah and the Sunnah of His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And He, the Almighty, says in His holy book, فَمَنِ اتَّبَعَ هُدَايَ فَلَا يَضِلُّ وَلَا يَشْقَى. فَمَنِ اتَّبَعَ هُدَايَ فَلَا يَضِلُّ وَلَا يَشْقَى. He who follows my guidance will never go astray in this world, nor find distress and discomfort in the hereafter. قال ابن عباس رضي الله عنه وأرضاه ضمن الله لمن تبع القرآن أن لا يضل في الدنيا ولا يشقى في الآخرة. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, Allah the Almighty has guaranteed a person who follows the Quran that he will not be misguided. He will not go astray in this world, and he will not go through discomfort and distress and sufferings in the hereafter. إن تطيعوه تهتدوا. If you follow him, the messenger, you will be guided. ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. He who obeys Allah and His Prophet has achieved a great achievement. Therefore, in simple terms, my dear brothers and sisters, know that our might and strength and power and honor and glory is in adhering to the teachings of the Quran and Sunnah and implementing it in our daily lives. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. In the name of Allah, and all praise is due to Allah. And may the peace and blessings and prayers be upon His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Know, my dear brothers and sisters, that rectifying the situation, that being guided and being upon guidance needs from you to put in the effort. You need to strive and struggle and put in the effort and remain steadfast upon the righteous path, upon the right path. The Almighty says in His holy book, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Those who strive and struggle in our ways, we will guide them. We will be there for them. We will support them and aid them and give them honor and glory in this life. And it is only through this And only through this, that if you put in the effort and strive and struggle to please your Lord, that Allah's promised victory will come. Didn't He, the Almighty, say, وَلَيَنْصُرَنَّ اللَّهُ مَنْ يَنْصُرُهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَقَوِيٌّ عَزِيزٌ? Didn't He, the Almighty, say, we will verily, indeed, give victory to those who give victory to us? Allah is Almighty and exalted in power. How do we give victory to Allah? In tansurullaha yansurukum. How do we give victory to Allah? There's only one way, my dear brothers, to give victory to Allah, and that is upholding His laws and implementing them in our daily lives, in all aspects and fields. As I mentioned earlier, individually and communally, politically and economically, morally and socially. And then Allah's promise will come into being. Allah's promise will come into being only if we give victory to Allah, the Almighty. And that great man, the second Khalifa, Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu, summed up the situation for us in his beautiful words in the following manner. And take heed of these words and ponder deeply over them. He radiyallahu anhu said, نحن قوم أعزنا الله بالإسلام مهما ابتغينا العزة بغيره أذلنا الله. We are a nation whom Allah has honored with Islam. That's our honor, that's our glory, that's our power, that's our might. If we were to seek honor in other than it, in other than Islam, in deviant ideologies, Allah will humiliate us and disgrace us. We are a nation whom Allah has honored with Islam. If we were to seek honor in other than it, Allah will disgrace us and humiliate us. And unfortunately, that is our situation at the moment. We are seeking honor in deviant ideologies, in other than Islam. We need to go back to our original religion and implement it in our daily lives. That is where our might and strength and power and glory is, my dear brothers and sisters. That's the simple solution, an answer to our problems, to our situation, to our humiliation and disgrace. Oh Allah, give glory and honor your religion and honor the Muslim nation once again. Oh Allah, humiliate and disgrace the enemies of Islam and give victory to your religion and to your book and to the Sunnah of your dear Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to your righteous slaves. Allahumma a'izz al-Islam wal-Muslimin وأذل الشرك والمشركين واكبت أعداء الدين. اللهم انصر دينك وكتابك وسنة نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعبادك الصالحين في كل مكان يا قوي يا عزيز يا متين. اللهم انصر من نصر هذا الدين واخذل من خذل هذا الدين. اللهم انصر من نصر هذا الدين واخذل من خذل هذا الدين. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم إنا نسألك الجنة وما قرب إليها من قول أو عمل ونعوذ بك من النار وما قرب إليها من قول أو عمل. اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي إليها معادنا. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وأقم الصلاة.